The recording is on. So yesterday we set up a DNS box. There was a master. Today we're gonna set up a slave. Okay, I'm gonna show you how this really works here. Slave. You could have one master and you could have multiple slaves, and you have to have at least one master. Okay, and you could have multiple slaves. So let's get going. So what I need is I need another box. Okay, so I have one of them is running already, so I'm going to pick another one and turn it on. And I need internet access here for now, so then I'm going to come back and disable it. Okay, because I need to install some package. So the IP address is 102. Okay. Okay, so the master is 101 and the slave is 102. Okay. Okay, 192.168.56.102, and I'm gonna name it DNS slave. and the password. Okay. So now, very first thing what we're going to do is we're going to change the name here. Okay. If you type host, it's giving you that. So how do I change the name? You go to vi/etc/hosts. Okay, and in here I'm gonna give 192.168.56.102, and the name is gonna be DNS slave.zmpt.com. Okay, save and exit there. And also we have to make an entry in the network file. vi/etc sysconfig and then network. Okay, so in here you delete. And the name is going to be DNS slave. Okay. Just remember. Okay, yeah, I missed S here. Okay, so let's see here. Okay, and network. Okay, and you need only one package here. Okay, so what do you need? You need just bind here. So over here we install bind and a lot of other things. So I think we installed total of 3. We installed total of 3 here, right? Where am I? Here, bind utils and bind chroot. So what we need on the slave is only bind. Okay. Okay. Yum install bind. Actually, I'm installing everything here. Anything that is working with bind, I'm installing those. Full package. It's okay. I'll be back in a minute, okay? Okay, I'm back. Next step is a similar thing we have to do here. We're not going to do everything in here the way it is, but we're going to make it. A lot of things are going to be similar here. So we're going to edit the name.conf. Okay, so what do I need to do? vi / etc / name.conf. So similar thing here is going to be 110. Oh, 102. Okay. So you come up here and put in the IP address for this box here, okay? What is the IP address? 192.168.56.102. Okay, good. And then you have to put a semicolon there. That is important. And you come down here and you put in the same thing here. Is that what we did? Yeah. 192 dot 168 dot 56 dot 2. Okay, over here we're now going to put in /24 here. Okay, let's go with what we have now and let's see if it's going to work. Because what's happening here is it is allowing Qt to connect from this to the master. Okay, very good.
But Zafar, this 1 or 2 is our DNS slave IP address, right?
Yes. We're still configuring slave.
Yeah. So you just mentioned that this IP address under allow query will let DNS slave to query master.
Yes.
How?
I'll show you.
Okay.
I'll show you. Okay, good. So we get out of here, and yeah, let me copy this. Okay, so the next step is we have to edit the RFC file here. So yesterday somebody mentioned what RFC file was. Let's see, what was it? VI right here, remote function call. So we have to go in there and edit this file here. Okay, vi/etc/named dot rf. Okay, this is the default file here. I don't know why it's named it. That's what it is. Okay, good. Go all the way down here, and pretty much you put in the same exact information here. Okay. That way you know you're copying. So you're copying last two of these here. This is a 1 bit of code, and this is a second bit of code here. So you're copying these two. Okay, you paste it in here, and up here you do the same exact entry in here as a master. pt.com. Okay, and then let's see here. Zone ZMPT file. File is zmpt.flz. Okay, so there is a little change here. I'll explain you. zmpt.flz. Okay, these things are we're gonna create a folder named slaves in here. What will happen is actually every so often a slave connects to the master and update itself with these two files here. Okay, every so often, or whenever any change is made on the master, the slaves get the updated files here. So based on that, the DNS resolves the IP addresses. Okay, good. So and then over here we have it as none, right? But what we're gonna do is we're gonna change it to masters. Slaves, file is slaves, allow update. Okay, here. Okay, here's the difference. Over on the left, which is a master we're looking at, but we have to change this to slave. Okay, because this is a slave box. And then this is the file is going to read. And then here we're going to tell who is the master for this slave. You type master. And then the name of the IP address of the master here, okay? Which is 192.168.56.101. Master is 101 here for us. Okay, looks good to me. Okay, and then let's go down here to zone. Excuse me. All this should be almost the same here. 192.168.56.0. No, there is no dot here. This is how it's going to look here. What this is this is like a first three octets here. It will go through this and then it's going to look for the reverse lookup zone here. And the same thing here, type is going to be slave. Okay, and same thing here. Can somebody guess? I'm going to type slave slash, and then what is going to be here? ZMPT dot RLZ, reverse lookup zone, right here. Right here, this is RLC, so we have to give that information here, RLC. Okay. Okay. Let's see here. I'm going to type zones. And then again, same information from the top. 192.168.56.101. And this is a masters. The reason it says masters is you could have more than one master in here. Usually masters are small in number and slaves are big in numbers here. Okay, so let me document this. They're named. No, I need this. Okay, good. So now we almost done here, but at this moment what we have to do is you have to go back onto the master here. Okay, let's see here. I'm gonna color this. Yeah, that looks good. Okay, now what I'm gonna do is I'm back on the master box here. Okay, which is 2.168.56.101, and this one doesn't have an internet connection yet. Okay, you know what? Net 0. I'm gonna go ahead shut down the internet connection there on the slave for now, because we don't need internet connection anymore. Storage network. Okay, I'm gonna start it up. Okay, it's gonna come back in the background here, but let's work on master again. So what we need to do here is we need to go back into the RFC file. So what is the RFC file? vi/etc/named.rfc. Okay, so we came in here and we played around a little bit. So these are the new entries we made yesterday here, right? So what we have to do is we have to go in here and allow update. We need to do some updates in here. So let's see here. I'm going to do insert 192.10.56.0/24. Okay, and then I'm going to make another entry in here. Allow. I'm going to do transfer. Okay, and where you're going to transfer? You're going to transfer to those 192.168.56.102. I'm going to allow the transfer to. Okay. And then there is also another thing here, type also -notify. So what is the master going to do is if there is any updates in the master, is going to publish those updates to the slave. Okay, this looks good to me. The only thing you need to worry about is the IP addresses here. And then if there are more than one slaves here, you could go into allow transfer here, and you could put down more than one slaves in here. Okay, same thing like here. If you have 10 in here, you could put in about 10. Let me show you how. 192.168.56.103. Okay, this is how you exactly would type the secondary slave. And you also put it in here, also notify the same thing. But we don't have that, so let me take it out. Okay, good. So that was for the forward lookup zone, and then is going to be the same thing for the reverse lookup zone. So I'm going to just copy it here. Okay. And what do? I just delete this. And then I go into insert mode. And then I'm going to paste it in here. Okay, this looks good to me. So it's doing the allow update. Who's doing the allow update? Anybody from in here is going to allow the update here, but we are specifying the do the transfer in here, and then notify this box when there is any transfer is there. Okay. All right, let's do it. Okay. Let me copy this. Okay, good. Okay, I'm deleting this line here. It may not present any. Okay. All right, good. Let me delete here. Okay, good. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to clear this. I'm going to restart the name.conf. Okay, service. I'm going to do service named restart. Okay, looks good to me. Let me copy this here. Okay, now we're going to go back to the slave. Okay, so I'm on slave now. Let me reconnect. DNS slave, okay, that's good. All right, so in here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to vi and etc resolve.conf. Okay, so what will happen in here is if you keep the internet disconnected, internet connected, your router, what it does is it writes a conf, publishes the routing information here. So we don't want that. We want it to be a secluded network here. So I'm going to go ahead and delete all this. And then in here, I'm going to type name server, and then tab. I'm going to give 192.168.56.102. Okay, that's all we need to do in here. Okay. Okay. All right. So next thing what we need to do is disable firewall. Okay. So how are we going to do that? We're going to do service, IP tables, status. Okay. So the firewall is on. So what we're going to do is stop it. And we check the status again. The firewall is not running. And I'm going to disable the firewall when the system reboots. Okay. So how are you going to do that? chk config and then IP tables. So let me grab for it. Okay, right now the firewall is on basically and all running run levels. So I'm going to turn it off. Okay, so you could confirm now that the firewall is off. Okay. Let's see here. Service IP table, stop. Now restart. Start the named service. And what is the command? Service named restart. Okay, so let me type service status. Okay, so it's in stop mode. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start it. Okay, looks good here. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go into the folder name slaves. Okay, cd slash var slash named slash slaves. Okay, remember we never went into this folder here. We do see the files in here. It says zmpt1 flz zones in here. Okay, where is this information coming here from? So what is happening here is we gave the information over here that whenever you're getting information in from the slave, when you go and get the information from the master, what it's doing here is it's grabbing this information here from master, reverse lookup zone and forward lookup zone, and then it's keeping that information in these files name zones here. So let me do ls-l and then let me cat it. Okay, so what it has here is it has this information in here. So I'm not going to do anything. So I'm going to do ls-l. What I'm going to do is I'm going to delete these files here. rm-rf asterisk. Okay, there is nothing in this folder on slave box. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go and edit these files here, forward ZMPT forward lookup zone and reverse lookup zone. So where are those files are? cd slash var slash name. Okay, so there are two files in here which are ZMPT1 and created yesterday at 12:33, around that time when we were working yesterday. So what I'm going to do here, vi ZMPT1 flz. Okay, so everything usually remains the same here, but what I'm going to do here is I'm going to make some entries in here. Okay, okay, and it's a record, and the IP address is 192.168.56.102. Okay, save and exit. And I'm going to do the same thing to the reverse lookup zone. Okay, in here, I'm going to come here and make a new entry. That was 101, right? Now this is 102, and the record is PTR. Okay, and 102 is, what is the name of 102? DNS slave.zmpt.com. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to restart the service. Service named status. So it's there here. So, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to restart the service here. So query logging is off. CPU found one, work, debug, transfer.
Are Are we changing this on master or slave? This RLZ and FLZ files?
On master.
On master. Okay.
Okay. Yes, on master. Okay. Okay. But are you with me so far? I should have mentioned that. My bad.
Yep.
Okay, great.
It definitely need practice though. So all of us.
I have all
try
this
to do one.
documented
Yeah.
here. So
Yeah.
do we times here? Then you could start adding more slaves in here. Okay. Usually there is one master and a bunch of slaves. Okay, the service has restarted. Let me see status. Okay. Uh, this is the same thing as TCP client 3 of 100 recursive. Okay. All right, we take a look here what it means here. Okay, I'm on a slave now. And let me do ls. Okay, what happened? I am expecting 2 files in here, but the files are not in there, okay? So the only way the files are going to be in here is when you do a little update itself in here. Okay, you go in and VI, ZMPT, and forward lookup zone. What you have to do is you have to change the serial number here. So you would have like either a hexadigit number, or usually you could just do a number 2. Okay, so if, in your company, if you have like these numbers like this, and then what you do is, okay, 82, you come back here and make it 83. But for now, we're going to do, it was 1, so we're going to change it to 2. Okay, and then we're going to do the same thing for reverse lookup zone. What will happen here is, this is going to trigger the update to the slaves. Okay, and let me do ls. Okay, we're going to give it like a couple minutes here and see if it's going to, if not, then we're going to trigger it. Okay, yeah. History is VIFLZ and VIRLZ. Okay, and I'm going to go in there, and then I'm going to copy this. Okay, good. And then you have to change the serial number. This is going to be an interview question. How is the transfer happens when you do any update on the master? So your answer would be you have to change the serial number for the update to take effect. Okay. All right. Now I'm going to go exit out of here. Oh, shoot. Reverse lookup zone. Did Ajaz reach safely there?
Yes, he did, but his brother is in critical condition.
Oh, God.
Doctors has already given up on him. He's in ICU.
How is the treatment thing going on over there? Is it like good or you can trust them?
The treatment is good, but his stage is gone beyond any treatment, basically.
And this is all expensive, right?
It's expensive and it could be inexpensive depending on your financial condition.
Mm. Okay, update in yellow. Okay, so I don't know what the time is going to take to update it, but we're going to trigger the update now. How are we going to trigger the update? We're going to simply run the service, restart the service. Okay, so I'm going to do ls here. There is nothing in here. The moment we restart the service, it should trigger it. Okay, and it says in here, TCP client, debug. Okay. Okay. Now you see the slave is getting information from the master here. We didn't have any files in here, and you could see the files were just written a moment ago. Okay. And this is going to be an interview question, so you have to change the serial number. Okay. So we set up all this here. So what? What is the use? Okay, the use over here is when we type the name of the computer, it should give us the IP address here. Okay. Let's take a look here. I'm going to ping this number name here. Okay. One time I think we remember that when we type the name of the computer, it wasn't pinging, right? So now it's pinging here because we have a DNS set up here. We have a phone book set up here. Okay. All right. I'm going to ping something which doesn't exist. Okay. Let me ping the slave itself. DNS. So slave is working too. See, it's giving us the IP address 102. Okay, let's go ahead and ping it from the master. Okay, it's doing it too. Let's ping master itself. Okay, this is all nice and good here. So how this is actually works? Okay, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna turn on another box here and we'll play around with this and see how these are gonna help us. So I'm gonna start a Red Hat 7 box. Oh. In the interview, if you mention all this process here, you will leave the interviewer speechless. Okay, so make sure you know what you're doing here. And when you're taking the interview, make sure you have in front of you, it's all open, and you have this open here. And if somebody gonna quiz you about anything, tell me something about RPM, you click right here. And then somebody would say, how is Nick bonding done? You click right here, and then it's gonna load it for you. What you say is, if it's not loading, you say, give me one moment and let me think. And then the moment you link, this comes up. What you do is, oh, I have done this many times, and then you could do Nick bonding. And you mentioned you have to have master, one master, and then more than one slave. Okay. And then if you say it's running on port, you have to run the bonding, and you will leave him speechless. Okay. And same thing about LVM. Make sure you have LVM open, wide open here, and then you know you have all these things loaded here. Okay, so this is loading from internet here. Make sure you clicked on each of them before the interview so that it is cached in your. Click on it again, it just loads instantly. Okay, it won't take any time. Give me 1 second here. A lot of people didn't join today. I don't know why.
Maybe match.
What match? Which one?
Cricket and India and England.
Okay. Okay, the IP address is 103 for this box here. So I'm going to start this. One 192.168.56.103. So what you have to do is you have to make some updates in here itself. Okay, for this to be recognized in DNS. Okay, so what updates you need to do? You first of all, you have to let me see if this is connected to internet at all. Okay, this box is not connected to internet, right? Good. So this may or may not work here. So let's ping dnsslave.zmpt.com. Okay, it's not going to work here because it doesn't have any records here. So for you to solve this problem, what you have to do is you have to update the resolve.conf. Okay, what is resolve.conf? Resolve.conf is a configuration file. It tells the system to where to get DNS information from. So what you have to do is you have to type search and then you type zmpt.com. Okay, and what you have to do is you have to give the name server here. Okay, in this case the name server is going to be 192.168.56.101. So we're going to give the name server as master. Okay, name server. Okay, good. Okay, and let's see if it's going to do it now. Okay. Any questions?
So basically the resolve file should be basically equivalent of DNS configuration. Like when we create a connection, we mention the DNS server and it will go to that DNS server. Otherwise, it will go to the default DNS server. It could be Google or something.
Exactly.
Right?
Yes.
Okay.
But if you have a networking enabled for your home network, it's going to come here and mess up the resolve.conf file.
Okay. But in real production scenario, we don't need to touch the resolve.com on servers, right?
No, yeah. Usually when you go on the job, a lot of things are already set up. You're going to be doing this when you are like doing a big transition from Red Hat 6 to Red Hat 7, and you'll be working on a team to do this. All of these things, you don't do it as a support. You do it as a part of engineering, and usually you do it only once. And once in a while, you get a ticket that will have these problems here, or it cannot ping or do anything. You will get a host, and then you cannot do the ping this way. That means the host is there, but you are not able to ping with the name because what? Because it's not in the DNS directory. It's not it's not in the phone book. That's all it is. If you try to if Mazhar is not in my phone book, if I try to search with Mazhar, it's not going to be in there because the entry is not in there. I could definitely type the phone number and call you directly.
Okay.
That's that simple. But DNS is a very, very big topic here. Okay, there are people who do nothing but DNS. They are called DNS professionals. In real world scenario, things are a little complicated when things go into the hundreds and thousands of servers. One or two is fine, but everything, the basic idea what we're doing here is the same. Okay, from location to location, what most company does is they divide their company into the zones: eastern, central, south central, whatever. That way, if there is a attack coming in, they would know which area of the IP addresses of the host were being targeted. So the one we have ZMPT1 in the central, and you have a DNS master in central and DNS 2 in Eastern time. Eastern time zone. So if you have another server in that zone, that way you could determine that the to Eastern or Central or whatever. That's how you narrow it down. Okay, so
Also, you mentioned that there are DNS specialists. Actually, the DNS is not merely setting up, it touches all the security, filtering, etc., etc., what websites are allowed, what are not allowed. So that's where companies control all those things, right?
oh, yeah, DNS is usually part of a security team.
Yeah. Yep.
On your box, this is what you're doing here, because when they do have an architectural diagram, they would just determine now what the DNS server is going to be and where it's going to be sitting and how the routing is being done. Okay, so okay, good. We are not done yet. I don't think we. Okay, so okay. Okay, I'll just copy it from here. Okay, so I'll copy this here. I'll paste it, and then okay, this is what the basic information goes in here. You could have a lot of other information in here. Okay, so but this is more than enough for now. Okay, that's that, and so this is what happens here. What about this host name itself? I mean, it looks ridiculous, right? So I want to give it a good name for this host here. Okay, so where do I edit the host names? Go into vi/hosts.
Don't you go to etc /host?
Okay, very good. Who's that?
Mazen.
All right, man. Good. Did you get any calls yet?
No, I got a lot of emails.
Yeah, I told you started putting that in a spreadsheet.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'll start doing that.
To them, okay? Yeah.
Reply back to them?
Just via email for now.
Okay. Okay.
Just reply them. Most of the time, about 6 recruiters.
Right.
Tell them the client name, the location, and the parent. That's it. You don't have to say hi, hello, anything. Just reply with these 3 things. Okay?
Okay.
All right. Then I'll guide you furthermore.
Thank you.
Okay, so what is the information you need to put in here on the host file here. So you don't always remember everything all the time here, so you have to just go back and take a look. So we put in this name here. So the name itself, 192.168.56.103. This one is 103, right? And then I'm gonna give it a name, zmpt1.dev.zmpt.com. Put in the front, you could put anything you want, but you have to put zmpt.com at the end, or whatever you have decided to choose. Okay, why is that? Because we have set that up deep inside this master here, that look for not here, over here, not there too. Okay, so we put it in the zones remote function call. We have put this in this zmpt.com. Okay, this is what it's looking for. The moment you change it to anything else, it's going to mess up. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and save and exit over here.
Zafar, quick question. So you have to keep the domain name the same. Refer to community. Oh, got it.
This one here.
Got it. Okay.
I think you, I haven't done this recently, but I think this is things you should match in here. I think you could put more than one entry. You could play around and let me know. Okay, so you do VI. Okay, good. Okay, so, and then you have to edit the network file. Where is the network file? Now the network file is pi/etc/sysconfig network. Okay, and what you do is, let me just verify that's the file I need to. Yeah. Okay, so you could make a new entry in here, and you type networking equal yes. Okay, and the host name equals to what did I give? zmpt1.dev.zmpt.com, correct?
Yes.
Okay. So I changed the host name, but it won't take effect until when will it take effect?
Restart the network service.
Okay, yeah. No, restart the box. You think when we restart the network? Let's do restart. So it still didn't change it. So okay. Okay. No. When you restart the system, it will change the host name here. But there is a way you could change it without restarting it. How are you going to do that? Very simple. You just type the host name, and then you type the name you want to give it to. Okay, and hit enter. Okay, let's type host name here. And for now, the host name is zmpt1.dev.zmpt.com. Okay, this thing will change. This thing won't change until you really restart. Maybe it may change when you restart the network here. Let's take a look. No, it still doesn't do that. Okay, so we have changed the host name temporarily. Okay. Okay, good. So what's going to happen now is, let's go from the other box and see if it's going to recognize it. Okay, so ping zmpt1.dev.zmpt.com. Okay, not going to recognize it. Can somebody take a wild guess? Not recognized. Because we have to make an entry into the phone book. What is the phone book? DNS master is the phone book. So we have to go in there and make an entry. Okay. Okay. So let's go into the DNS master. Okay. So okay. So we are into DNS master here. What we need to do here is we need to update update in here. There is a new host name that exists. So files we need to update, forward lookup zone and reverse lookup zone. So vi zmpt.flz. Now you have to tell me, guys, what do I have to do now?
Add DNS live and a record with the
Okay.
IP address.
And what is that?
IP address of the new server.
What should I be typing here?
Here, DNS live, the host name of that server.
Okay, good. zmpt1.dev.zmpt.com. Okay.
Yeah.
No, we don't have to type everything in here this much in. zmpt1.dev. Okay. And then this is a record. And then the IP address is 192.168.56.103. Okay, we save and exit. And there was a zone. Don't be surprised if somebody just hire you to do the DNS. Once there are a lot of, actually, if you do DNS a little bit more, there's actually a lot of high-paying jobs for only for doing DNS. But I think you need to know network also.
Zafar, quick question. You have two duplicate IP addresses in there. One with the and then the DNS master one. Yeah. Is that how that's supposed to be?
Yes. This is a record here, and there are other records in here. Then I really can't go over the other ones here, but I'll tell you what the other ones are. Okay. Okay. I still have to do one more thing in here. Can somebody take a guess?
Don't you have to edit the reverse ZLF?
Yes, I will do that. But there is one more piece edit I have to do here. Okay, I have to change the serial number. This is going to be an interview question. So it was 3 or 2 was 3. Okay, I'm going to change that. Save and exit. Okay, and reverse loop zone.
So every time you add a slave, you have to change the serial number?
This is not slave. This is a regular box.
No. Whenever you add like another box to the master, like another slave, you have to change the serial number, right?
Yep, serial number is the one that's going to trigger the update.
Okay, got it.
That's what I'm saying. That's a question. He will ask you, what will, how is the, they will, the interviewer will ask you, how is the, how is the change in DNS happen here? I put that in the interview question I gave you. Let me just verify that.
So serial numbers has to be unique. That's what you're saying, Basil?
Yes, yes.
And this serial number doesn't match anywhere else, right? It could be any random serial number.
Any random serial number. Right now we are at 1, 2. So usually when you go on, so many updates has been done. They usually keep the serial number up to date here.
Yeah, Zafar, it's in the interview question that you gave me.
Yeah, it's number 24.
Yep.
I told you to memorize it, okay? So do that, please.
Okay.
Okay, over here, simple. 103, and then this is PTR. PTR stands for pointer, and then the full name here, okay? zmpt1.dev.zmpt.com. And the serial number has to change. All right, so as usual, you have to be very careful how you're doing the updates and everything, okay? Even though there is a backup here, even a small hiccup in the network, and it's in the production box, your company could be losing millions of dollars. Say, for example, if it's Amazon, it's a heavy, any given day, Amazon loses millions of dollars if a box goes down, but they have a safeguards. Okay, so good. Okay, let's see if we could ping it here. Normally, all this should happen on its own, but we don't have a good mechanism here to do this. So it's not going to ping until we restart name dot. We have to restart the name service. So the command is service named restart. All right, there you go. All right. Any questions? All these things are really important here because there's a lot of when there is a application development or something is going on, these things matter. How the DNS is connecting, how the host name is there, and all that. Okay. And in reality, this is how you're going to know the name of the box here. So when you have something like zmpt.prod.gmpt.com, that means it's a production box. It gives you a clear clue that this is a production box, and you got to be very careful. You have dev here, and then you have test. You could have test also. You could have, what do you have there? Dev, test, dev, test, and sandbox. There are three things that are tested here. If you mess up big, you're gonna get not a big trouble, but little trouble. But on be very, very careful and make sure you're even more careful if it's a database box here. So what will happen is, how do you figure out what application it may be running? They will put little bit some information like this here. gmt1 dot dev .gmpt.com. So by looking at the box name itself, you can database, and this is a development box. Okay, something like this. And if you have something like this prod, then it's a production box. I'm going to put this down here. Restart. There is one other thing you could figure out. If you have the IP address, you could connect there, and then you could log in. Most of the time, if the DNS is not working, IP address would work. So you could type in the IP address in there. Okay, so if you have a name of a box and it's not pinging and you couldn't figure out the IP address, usually there is a database. You go in there and then you put that into the database and you will find out. It's a third-party database. Okay, so let's talk about DNS records. What we put it in here is, these are called records. Okay, nothing but an entry into the phone book here. Okay, so let's take a look here. So there is the one we are looking at is a record. Okay, so let's go online and figure it out what it is means. So DNS A record. Okay, so records, the DNS records are A record. DNS records are used to control the location of a resource on the internet. Example, A record is used to point to a logical domain name such as google.com to the IP address. Okay, this is a good good example here, definition. Okay. And then there is another record which is called PTR. This is for the reverse lookup zone. DNS PTR record. Okay, so PTR record is used for the reverse DNS name lookup. Using the address, you could get the associated DNS name here. Okay, what does it mean? Okay, ping. Okay, you have ping, and then what you could do is what is the box we set up? zmpt1.dev.zmpt.com, right? And when you type this, it's giving us the IP address. What if you know the IP address? You want name of the name of the box here. So what are you gonna do? You're gonna do type ns lookup. This is the new command, and then you type the IP address. And when you hit enter, it should give us the name. Okay. NS. One 103.56 start. Okay. I think I'm missing a one condition somewhere here. Let's take a look. Local DNS working not is byte. Okay, we need to put in an NS switch. Okay.
So if you give any unknown IP address, you will find the same response.
It's the same thing, right?
Yeah. Yeah, you can serve 111 something, you will get the same thing. Yeah.
You can't find. Okay, so let's go into NS switch. You know, actually, we'll carry this over next week here. So let me just finish the records here, and then we'll come back to it next week here. Okay, so what is the PTR? PTR is a pointer, and it has a good record here. So the PTR should be working is a reverse lookup zone here. So it will get you the records with getting the using the host name. All right, good. Then there is one more record you have to worry about. It's called TXT. Okay, TXT. Okay, so TXT is a short for text record, is a type of a resource recorded in DNS and used to provide the ability to associate it with arbitrary text with a host or other names such as human readable information. Okay, so let's take a look. So these are all the other names here that is being used by the domain providers. So usually I'm not worried about these things here, but the only other one you have to worry about a little bit is the MX record. MX record is the mail exchange record. All information you will get provided by the whoever the team is responsible for. Okay.
And this MX is for SMTP server, right, Zafar?
MX what?
For SMTP server?
Yeah, mail exchange. And I believe there is a SNTP enters too. So, but for now, I'm not worried about that. You usually learn because there is no way we could set up all these things here and demonstrate those things. You have to remember the ones I'm providing now because these are the main important ones. And there is one more record name, CNAME. What it does is it records the canonical name. Usually, all these things matter to the provider of the whoever is providing the domain registration and things like this. For example, if you have a GoDaddy account, you have to enter all this here. I think I have a GoDaddy. Let me see if I could bring that up.
Normally C, A, and MX, if those are entered, website is working.
Yeah, those are the things that we needed for our website to be working. It's called CNAME. And there are a lot more records in here, believe me. But I'm telling you, you're not a DNS guy. You don't have to worry about too much here.